For Gru, being a supervillain isn't easy.
We stole the Statue of Liberty, the small one from Las Vegas.
Now, this is a real mad scientist here, because he made an army of his own talking testicles to do his work for him.
Yeah, he did.
Well, if your new testicles came out yellow, I think you'd probably put them to work and not use them.
Well, I've never learned to cut my nutsack open to see what color they are, so I just took it like, okay, they could be.
I figured they'd be blue. Blue ball testicles.
Yeah, if ours was that, if we had our own balls working in the lab, they all be blue.
You guys are taking this in a place I'm not comfortable with. So, little yellow guys they may be, but your exposed testicles, let's not go there.
Well, I could have said little yellow dicks, but I said I didn't go there.
The thing is, there's hundreds of these little yellow guys that all pretty much look the same except for one thing. And the first thing I thought was, wow, they got some lazy design crowd here.
Yeah, it was easy. Look, a little ball with some eyes on it. Go.
It did feel that way, though. I was like, okay, well, they did cute things with them, but even so, I'm like, come on, guys, you can't do better than that. This is like a 2-year-old could have designed.
But they were so ridiculously cute, though. That's the only problem.
Clearly,
that made me laugh.
It's totally set up for a Happy Meal. I mean, those are just living chicken McNuggets. I'm surprised whatever company gets this movie doesn't have a kit so you can dress up your chicken nuggets to look like these creatures.
No, watching them, even I wanted one. After watching one of those, especially when they glow in the dark. The one scene where they snap that one's back and it starts to glow in the dark.
Like
I'm
a Callium
how
stick?
clever, you damn
Well, that's part of the advantage of the genericness of it that I didn't realize at first. I mean, at first I was like, wow, lazy. And as it went along, I was like, oh, well, they're actually taking advantage of it because they can do anything with them because they're so nondescript.
By the way,
and
co-host, I'm going to get you a hamster, shave it, paint it yellow.
Oh, yeah?
And you're going to have your own little Despicable Me minions running around. Yeah, we're talking about the little yellow creatures or whatever they are that they never explain in the movie. Which I kind of like. And
they're his cousins.
So he says. I actually think they're little sex slaves, but you don't see that.
How come you take it there every week?
Well, he's got a good point, though. You're single for long enough, in that big old house all by yourself with nothing but these little yellow things that are agreeable to anything you ask them to do. Sooner or later, you're gonna fuck them.
Yeah, shove them up your ass.
The moment I see that on my porno queue, I'm canceling my subscription. I'm done with porn.
They were originally created as suppositories, and that's how they will be used. No, they.
That's what you're gonna do with your little shaved hamster, anyway.
Oh, I'm not. we're gonna go rob Banks, me and that little guy, me and Roscoe.
Yeah, he's gonna run on your little wheel.
I'm sure you're gonna rob Banks, but how you gonna celebrate afterwards?
Man, you're sick, dude.
Somewhere Richard Gere's like,
Stay away from my friend Richard.
So, of course, we are talking about Despicable Me. And the despicable one in this, I know he's looking at me. Look, he's ready to correct me. That's
how he'll say that. Was this the German name of it? Or something?
It just sounds like Despicable.
Despicable Me. He's a Nazi. This guy here.
There's an umlaut in it. You have to say it that way.
But why is he despicable? Because he is one of the leading supervillains in the world, who goes by the name of Gru, Gru. So he's got like a evil European name even.
With an umlaut.
Like Romania or something.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah,
I thought he was from Mexico.
Yeah, him and Dr. Doom, grew up together.
He's just more of a prick, though.
But yeah, he's just a dick. That's all.
He's like a lonely Euro trash guy who's kind of an asshole who invents stuff that you're like, wait, why are you doing this? It's like only because nobody won't stop you.
Well, this isn't one of those failed supervillains. Like I expected they were going to go like, oh, this guy's just a failure. But it looks like he's had a decent career before the movie started. It's just suddenly there's somebody doing bigger and better things out there, and he gets, a little bit of evil villain penis in.
Well, he's one of those supervillains that you actually kind of sympathize with, especially when they show his childhood. He's very much like, I'm sure him and Mr. Glass were playing in the playground, talking about how they just want to be these great villains if anyone gave him a chance.
Yeah, he actually would have been an astronaut had his mother encouraged him, but she just ignored him. So now he's that.
Mom wasn't George Costanza's mom, basically.
Yeah, she's just a bitch, so now he's evil. But he's evil because he's got that douchebag scarf around his neck, that hipster douchebag scarf.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, he wears those European turtlenecks.
I'm telling you.
Like suits all the time.
See, I thought he was a Harry Potter fan, but
no, the dude is a hipster, man. He's got that douchebag scarf, and he's got those skinny jeans.
Yeah, that's true.
And he does everything.
He's a middle-aged Euro trash hipster.
Oh, yeah. He had that little She Wants Revenge pen. I saw that.
Yeah. My bloody Valentine? Yeah, with his shaved head and shit, going around parking in spaces too small mall, cutting in line at Starbucks. See, everything a hipster does.
He did. In the beginning of the movie, he's like goes and runs over like people and crashes shit just to go to a Starbucks.
Yeah,
and you're like,
exactly.
yeah, hipster.
Hipster,
totally.
yeah.
I didn't notice anything wrong with his driving. That's how I drive.
Well, yeah, your little co-hostmobile, you fit in a lot of places. But
Right,
nah,
you gotta
man.
move.
But he, at the beginning of the movie, sets up a world where supervillains are just a part of life. They'll do something big like steal the pyramids or steal the Jumbotron from the middle of New York City. People just like, oh, well, hey, what are they going to do next? and so
I love it. They do live in a world where it's
Yeah.
like, what you gonna
There
do?
are no superheroes, so it's just
But it's not even like no superheroes. There's not even a citizenry that cares.
yeah.
Like they're shocked to go, and then they stop.
Yeah.
It's almost completely apathetic. There's like a news story on it. It's like, and now in local news.
It's like the weather.
yeah, exactly. Because it's a world where it's almost like, well, there's no superhero, so fuck it. What are we going to do? You know, we'll just accept it. So when Gru sees that, hey, there's some supervillain out there has topped me, he's like, well, I got to top him now. I'm going to go and steal the moon. I'm going to get a shrink ray, go up there, shrink it, grab it, bring it back. I don't know what he's going to do, stick it up his ass or something. and to do that, what he probably would do what any of us would do. He tries to take a loan from the bank. That's right.
the evil bank.
The evil bank. That's right.
Times are tough even in the cartoon world. You're trying to get money to finance what you got to do to be successful.
Yeah, damn right. And to do this, he comes up with this plan. Now, this is a children's movie, so we got to have some little kids in here. And they are, in this film, 3 little girls who they work in an orphanage, and they are forced to sell cookies. And he's thinking like, oh, you know what? I need a shrink ray. And the only guy that has one is one of my newly formed arch villains, Vector, voiced by Jason Segel. And he can't get into the place. It's heavily armed. But he does see a way to get in when the girls come to come to this guy Vector's house, and he lets them in for cookies. And he's like, okay, I'm going to adopt these girls, let them sell them some cookies, and I'll just deliver the cookies myself, break in there and make these cookies robot and steal the ray, and wackiness ensues.
Easy
I mean,
peasy.
seriously, I mean, by the time you do all that, it's like, you know what? I probably could have just invented a shrink ray myself.
Oh, I could have got a bulldozer and just knocked that shit down, or something. Hey,
Killed everyone like a real villain.
Yeah. I could have created a bomb and just blew that shit up or something.
Why didn't he just use all the energy and take out the other guy instead? I was like,
Because it's a kid's movie.
All right, fair enough.
It's like, for a mad scientist, you don't know how to direct.
Plus,
He's not too mad.
Well, plus, when the bank doesn't want to give him the money, it's like, why don't you just go to an evil credit card company after that?
That's all you have.
That's all there is.
They're everywhere.
There's a credit card company that's not.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Just go to them. They're everywhere. And you know what? And you can sign up for a credit card easy. They don't care. They
But
give
hey,
everybody.
look, in this movie there are no superheroes and there are obviously no credit cards. So
Okay, fair enough.
By the way,
set up the rules.
this plot makes me very nervous of you, Leon, because you always selling cookies, but ain't no girls around to deliver them.
How do you think he can afford to just work for Spill?
But he is cute in the little costume he wears. This little Girl Scout outfit. That's why we don't complain. But man, you
It's
know
hot
what?
Texas. You get a good breeze in that costume.
With that skirt. You see him standing over one of those fucking grates like Marilyn Monroe in a fucking Girl Scout outfit.
I know, and I keep yelling at him to stop it because that's disgusting. It's like decent
But I'm
people
sure you
walking
can watch
around.
Those guys animate that.
Yeah,
Yes,
you can see the little yellow guy popping out from underneath his skirt.
falling out of his ass like a little hamster turd.
Oh my! Like a loose dingleberry.
As long as he brings me back my cookie money, everything will be all right. Because my pimp hand is strong.
Yeah, Leon's dingleberries are bringing back the cookie money. Here you go, boss.
Okay, we're going to that uncomfortable place again.
You know what, though? Leon, talking to you, and I do think you are a villain, man, because you made this sound so bad. We saw this at 2 different screenings. Like, the rest of us saw it at one. Right. You saw it at another. But I have to say, I didn't love this movie. I don't even think this movie's great. But what it does have going for it that I liked is that it's just silly. And that's all they want to do, and it really made me smile. It made me happy when I left the theater.
I chuckled consistently through this. I don't think there was anything made me like guffaw.
Me either.
Or anything like that. And there was nothing I went, wow, this is like, I never would have expected that, because honestly, you can't get much more by the numbers than the way this delivers its plot.
Yeah.
But it is so consistently cute, and there's so many chuckles just consistently through it that I couldn't help myself. I started to really warm to it about 20 minutes in, and it kept that way all the way through. more or less. One thing we haven't talked about, and I think one of the strengths here is Gru. Yeah.
Oh, Gru, yeah.
Is voiced by Steve Carell, who did such a good job in that role. He's got that kind of like, where the hell is that from accent, that evil guys have. And he really plays it up for laughs. I thought that he's the biggest strength of this film next to the little yellow things that co-host puts in his butt.
We are going to pull off the true crime of the century. We are going to steal the moon. I shrink the moon. I grab the moon. I sit on the toilet. What?
You're funny.
No, Steve Carell, I have to say it in the beginning, I thought his voice was terrible because he's doing a Russian accent.
See, I thought he was hysterical. I liked him a lot.
No, after a while,
wrong.
Hey, wait a minute. No, I liked his voice after a while. I actually thought it fit the character the more it went on. I mean, it became more comical than it did. Like, oh, he's getting that accent wrong.
Right.
I did like him, and I liked some of the things that I did laugh hard at. A couple of things. I thought that character of Vector was going to annoy me, but every now and then, because he's real nerdy, he's almost like like me,
like
you. Yes, what's that boy's name? Cyrus. No, the guy that is over Microsoft. What's his name?
Bill Gates.
Bill Gates.
I saw him almost like a Bill Gates
I
type.
thought they were
nerd.
going for that a little.
I'm sorry. I found that character completely generic and annoying. I mean, there's just too much about the movie that I found generic, but him especially. I mean, if he reminded me of anything, it was so like a cross between McLovin's role and Kick-Ass, but just more like I've seen them do this character a lot. And it was just like, man, just no imagination went into this.
All these characters they've done a lot, and that's what I'm saying. The movie is generic. The only thing that saved it for me was that it was just random in certain parts.
The only thing I genuinely liked was the design of Gru. I mean, I liked that Eurotrash look he had, that kind of like new wave Uncle Fester.
See, but that's the thing that, as far as his character design, I mean, I've seen that a billion times though. It's because it's funny you're talking about that, but I thought everything else was far more interesting than the look. Because I mean, I'll give the film this. It's a really cool looking 3D movie. Yeah. I thought there were lots of parts in this film, like especially when they go to the amusement park, where they really took advantage of the 3D.
You know what? When they were on the roller coaster, they did take advantage of it because it made you feel that way.
Yeah,
by the way, I like that. I like that name right there.
And make sure
like a name for your band, Leon the New Wave Uncle Fester. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Leon the New Wave Uncle Fester.
And make sure you stick around to the end credits because there's a fun taking advantage of the 3D joke, like intentional sort of self-aware joke that does work. I was like, okay, that was pretty clever actually.
Yeah, it kind of plays off. It kind of plays like one of those short films that you're used to seeing at the beginning of the Pixar films. That I thought, the incorporation of that was really cool.
Yeah, and even though I found the characters generic, there was, like I said, there was some things that they did, like that Vector character. I didn't really find that character particularly funny, except that every now and then he'd say something that just made me laugh hard. Like you and I were laughing. Like he has a shark, and when the shark was like going crazy in his little floor aquarium, he's like, "Hey, what are you doing? Quiet, fish!"
He's trying to watch his movie. He's like, "Hey, stop it!"
And that was fun. That was one of the highlights, really?
Yeah, it was like silly things like that.
But you know what? That's the thing. It's like little moments like that it really made it fun. And there are a lot. And that's the thing about this movie is I could say one thing. And I'm going to use this word a lot for this movie. It's fucking cute. I mean, it really is. I mean, there are plenty of scenes, especially seeing the little worker guys. They're doing stuff in the background that was making me laugh. And, there's always something going on during those small scenes. Sure, there's nothing really going on story-wise, but they really made it, I thought they kind of catered to the kids, obviously, but every once in a while they threw something in for the adults, but nothing like Toy Story. But enough to where you feel, this is just an all-around fun movie to watch.
And they did things where they catered to the adults, but they didn't do it by trying to reference some
right. They weren't going to try to pull a Pixar on you by really, throwing it at you.
Yeah, it wasn't like they referred to a show or a book.
It's a good thing.
Mm-hmm. What's that?
No, it is a good thing. But you could tell, like, they weren't really trying to do what Pixar is doing.
I feel like this would have been a lot more acceptable 10 years ago than it is now as part of the problem.
I'll definitely give you that.
Because we've learned to expect a lot more from these things now, and really, it's really generic character design that it feels like very little effort went into just across the board, pretty much. I mean, there's not even much detail to the characters that are there.
Right.
And it bored me just kind of watching it visually on some level, except for those times that they were trying to take advantage of the 3D, because the rest of it was like, and if it wasn't for whoever was responsible for writing the gags, which, like I said, are never hysterical, but they're consistently chuckle-worthy, then the whole thing would have been not even worth seeing. At
Wow.
all.
Okay, I have to strongly disagree with as far as just the look of it, because there are a lot of scenes that really just stuck out to me, as far as like the scenes where I guess the spaceships or the flying vehicles just looked really cool during the chase scenes. And just a lot of the environments I thought just really popped out to me, and I don't know why, because it does feel generic, but it's like even if it's generic, they made it fun to watch.
Well, you know what about those characters is like they range from looking cool, because Gru, I agree with you, Leon, was a cool looking character.
He looked like he was designed by Charles Adams.
Yeah, exactly. But then, like Mr. Perkins, the guy who owned the bank, the evil bank, who was voiced by Will Arnett, I hated that design. I thought that was a terrible design. And then there was some things that looked good, but they just looked generic, like Christian Wiig's character, Miss Hattie, who owned the orphanage.
Yeah.
I thought there's nothing wrong with that. It's just looks like any other character from any other movie.
Well, I felt like so much of it, design-wise and especially story-wise, was a bunch of ideas that were stitched together that didn't really have an organic connection. It's like, all right, well, we'll have it do this, we'll have him do this, we'll have him do this, and not that can't work, but just way too often it defaulted back to Coase's word, cute. Like whenever they were stuck for something, like they went the cute way, they defaulted to cute, and I don't know. I mean, it wasn't like I hated the movie, but at the same time, I was bored through a lot of it.
And I feel it was skewing towards a much younger audience.
Yes, it definitely was.
Part of its goal there. And that's fine. I mean, for that, it is fine. But you got to accept going into it that this did not set its sights very high in age or in what the final product, what it wanted to do. It's like, it just has to be acceptable, and that's all they got.
Oh, yeah. Can I say, at least before I forget, I thought the little girls were actually my favorite characters out of the film. Just because I thought they really captured the sense, especially the age ranges of those kids. I thought whoever was doing the voice acting did a great job, and I thought the animators did a good job of just emoting, of the little girls, and just emoting how they would feel around those ages.
Yeah, and the good thing they did with those little girls, I was really nervous when he brought them on, because I thought,
right,
they're gonna bring on these little kid characters are gonna be just annoyingly cute.
Right.
But you know what they did? They almost made little bitches. They were sassy, and that's what this guy needed around him anyway.
Yeah.
Somebody who could compete with his personality. I was like, I like these kids.
Which it helped in the relationship between those characters, because you can say the story's generic, but deep down it's about this evil villain like trying to find his heart.
And you know what? I might not have always liked the character design, but I agree with you that a lot of the set pieces, like the roller coaster and the design of the mechanics of like the lab and the machines, I thought those were kind of fun.
Yeah, all these pieces that just kind of assembled together like a Lego. But it was so calculated to melt your heart, they had to make the girls orphans too. I was just like,
that's the thing
guys,
is,
orphans, you really gonna have to go that far?
And
there's nothing wrong with that,
there
though.
were so many details that were like that were pulled just right out of the playbook. Yeah. And it was like, watching them going, okay, it's not so bad to be offensive, but it's not original either.
And just the plan, I'm trying to get behind what's going on, if somebody's got a good plot, I don't mean like the plot of the story, but the reason they're doing what they're doing. Hey, I'll get behind it. I'll cheer you on. But just the more even though I'm trying to dial myself down. It's a kids movie. It doesn't have to make sense. But I'm like, this really does not make sense. I want to go with it. It's hard for me to put myself and cheer it on.
You gonna look that hard into this?
I'm saying I'm not looking that hard. It's more on a visceral level. It's not me checking for logic. Well, clearly physics would dictate.
How can you shrink and grab the moon? That would destroy the earth.
Wait, I hear somebody singing "The Evil Mr. Grinch."
But I'm like, motivation wise, it's not even.
Now the reason you're hearing that is because this movie stole liberally from the Grinch film.
Yes,
that's why. It didn't have anything to do with
But
Leon.
you know what? Hey, so did Avatar. Huh?
Avatar.
Well, as far as a familiar storyline, it's a kid's film, so I'm not going to...
We expect like a Grinch Avatar.
Man, you were making a long bridge, dude.
No, that's
instead of the Navi, the Grinches.
We've all seen this story before, but I don't mind.
Was it just because they're different colors? Is it blue, green thing? Is that what that is?
Shut up, Cyrus.
Avatar took place in Whoville.
No, but they do take a familiar story, but I didn't mind that. It didn't bother me because it was catering towards kids, and it was a fun movie to watch. I'm no fucking kid, but you know what? I can at least say I had fun watching this film.
Yeah, that's the thing, man. I'm looking at this and I go in there and I'm not I don't think that they were aiming high. Sometimes I didn't even work with the animation that they weren't aiming high because you can see where they put that D team on certain parts of the animation. It looked like it was moving like not as smoothly as some of the other scenes.
Zoetrope.
Yeah, that's what it looked like. They were all moving all funny and shit like they're from a Charlie Chaplin film. Like, y'all just ran out of time right here. Y'all rushed this.
That stuff rendered? Sure.
Shit, they must have had those little yellow balls working on those animated scenes right there. Get this shit out of here. But nah, man, but then again, there were some scenes that looked really cool. I have to say, man, it's just some things you just can't sit up there and take apart. For some people, like, as much as I respect your opinion, and I do.
Here it comes.
Starts like that means the thing I'm going to say next is the opposite of everything I just said.
It is what it is.
It's
like,
you suck.
Yeah, no. As long as you in this room, I respect your opinion, and when you leave, I'm gonna talk shit about you. Like, you see this as kind of boring. They repeating old themes. I'm like, there's nothing wrong with repeating themes. I mean, like they laughing at you. I agree with you, man. You know what? I hear what you say.
Think I'm worried about what they think?
No, something like one of the biggest movies. Yeah, we complained about it, like Avatar. It took old Native American themes, but some people enjoyed that, some people didn't. I see what you're saying with this. I see where you wouldn't like this, because it is taking old themes and rehashing them. I see it as, well, they did take old themes and they made it kind of fun in some parts. So I didn't really have a problem with that. I thought that, one of the biggest problems I might have had with this movie is that there was a lot of voices in here and they didn't really do anything with them. And sometimes that's good and sometimes that's bad. Like, we sit up here before the movie before the review started, we're like, Danny McBride was in this? Who's Danny McBride? And then you have, what was that? What's that guy's name from Flight of the Conchords?
Oh, Jermaine Clement.
Jermaine Clement's like, they used that guy in there, and who was he? We don't know who he was. I mean, so maybe that's kind of cool that they didn't do that. Maybe he was. I don't know. Yeah.
Really?
I don't know. Hey, what's his name was the monkey in Son with a Clans.
George Clooney played a dog on South Park.
He did.
Yeah, that's right. And shot Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. The monkey was Neil Patrick Harris. That was the monkey.
He was the monkey?
He was the monkey.
Neil Patrick Harris, and all he did was have him voice the monkey?
There's nothing wrong with that.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. As long as you
That was one funny monkey.
check,
to be
brother.
fair.
And I heard Neil Patrick Harris throws his shit at people anyway. So hey, if there's a fix.
He's a method actor.
Anyway, what I'm saying is, I can see this. This movie's not aspiring to be anything but cute and fun. Some people just coming out of Toy Story are going to say, well, this didn't aim that high, so I don't like it that much. Me, it put a smile on my face and made me happy. So I give it a low matinee, but a matinee.
Oh, see, okay, here's one of these things where it sounds in your language like you're saying, like, I'm wrong, and I don't know what I'm talking about.
You are!
And yet, it sounds like, to me, like we're all coming in right around the same place. Because,
Hey, Leon, why are you so nervous? Are you going to be all right?
this is silly. Look, the movie, it's okay. It's just not that great. It doesn't bother me that they rehash an old theme. It bothers me that they rehash several little old themes just to stitch something together to have a movie. Then there's some things I liked about it, but nothing I loved. And as far as laugh, my one laugh came in with one of the first jokes when the guy's like, "Hey, my dog barks. What can you do?" And he's like, "Well, it won't bark if it's dead." And that was cold. I was like, all right, now we got something going. But it just went cute too much. It was too much for me.
There's nothing wrong with cute. You are a Grinch.
Fine. If you need me to be a Grinch, I'll be a Grinch. And I'm a Grinch who's giving this a high rental.
Okay.
Well, that sounded weird. I'm giving it a high rental.
I think I like this a little bit better than you did, but I'm actually kind of right where you are, Corey, even though you sound like you're describing what I think, Leon. I don't know. I'm so confused.
Join
us. I mean, it's just that it's the fact that it took piecemeal from different things, like little pieces, and put it together that just felt lazy. It's the animation that felt lazy. There's so much of it that felt like, what difference does it make? But it still did keep me smiling all the way through. I mean, I think that if your kid's already seen Toy Story, it's like, let's see another movie. Like, but we already saw, okay. Then Despicable Me is going to be fine. It's a good low matinee.
And listen, I want to talk to the animators out there. I want to talk to all you people who draw them funny pictures out there and make the characters move. Look, just because you were making an animated film and maybe it was successful for Shrek, that doesn't mean everybody has to put a line dancing number in their animated film these days. That is just annoying now. I'm getting tired of seeing that shit.
Hey, I like the dancing. What's wrong with dancing? Everyone got to dance.
He's been hanging around that hamster too much.
I thought you loved montages and dance numbers. How dare you not give this movie a rental?
Oh, how dare you,
like
sir?
that?
How dare you?
But hey, wait, we still haven't heard co-host's review yet.
we haven't.
Go ahead and throw your full price on it.
I'm giving it a matinee because as much as you have Toy Story out there that that set the bar as far as how animated films should be. But with a film like this, hey, as long as you have me smiling and laughing through the majority of it, and I'm not just dying to get out of there, I had a good time with it.
There you go. I'm gonna pick co-host up and slap you in the face with it.
I don't know, man.
You know what?
That's an argument to you?
Yes.
I think this means
If he agrees with me, that's an argument
That's
to me.
right.
all this is proven is that this review is about an evil monster who finds that he has a heart.
For me? No, hey, good guy. Well, no, but no, I don't know anymore. I must do it must save the children.
What?
That's from He-Man, the Christmas special.
Oh, everyone who knows
Which, you
that
know what?
reference.
Which honestly, this movie ripped that off. Where Skeletor was trying to save those two kids and the dog.
Oh, yeah, well,
but he was delivering them over to Horde Prime.
that's iconic.
Remember?
Yeah.
Let's go another 5 minutes and let you continue to prove my point.
Son of a bitch. Leon, I'll kill you.
He's so fluffy, I'm gonna die.
All you gotta do is knock down that spaceship there.
Aww.
Oh, somebody's got a frowny face.
Okay, my turn.
Knocked over!
It's so fluffy.